Hello, and welcome to Reasons for Rose podcast. This is the place where we discuss all things culture, relationships, and lifestyle. I am your host, T Bells, and I am joined by my co host, Lauren.
Hey y'all, what up?
We survived Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
We survived, and if you're listening to us, it's a bit late. Valentine's Day would have passed 2 weeks, but how was your weekend?
Valentine's Day was a weird time for me this year. And I feel like the whole week leading up to it was a whole weird week for me too. I don't know, man. It's definitely COVID, COVID lockdown situation is starting to get to me. So Valentine's Day as a single person also was getting to me. But luckily I have bomb ass friends. I had girls sending me chocolate. I had a girl send me breakfast and lunch. Shout out to Shanique. So that made it like a lot more manageable. Plus, I literally hung out with my roommates for dinner. We all cooked food and like vibed to music. So it was like a Galentine's Day, which is cool. How about you?
So that sounds blessed. Like it sounds like your friends got your back and you really made it special and you made it, you created a meaning out of Valentine's Day for yourself. Confession time. I have never ever celebrated Valentine's Day in my life. I think that I the last time I celebrated probably was in elementary school.
When you say celebrate, what does that mean to you?
I have never acknowledged the day other
Mm-hmm.
than to take Snapchat pics with all
Mm-hmm.
pretty filters. But
Mm.
literally, even with the filters on Snapchat, it took me a while to figure out it was Valentine's Day.
Oh my God.
And that's regardless of whether I'm in a relationship or not. It's never been a thing.
Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to celebrate holidays like these, like Valentine's Day? Like not the major ones, like of Christmas, of course, because that definitely has a different meaning and different cultural context, but the gimmicky holidays like Valentine's Day, on a scale of 1 to 10, like how important is it for you to celebrate?
It's so funny because if we call Valentine's Day gimmicky, is Thanksgiving it gimmicky as well? Would that be another one of those? Or like Halloween would be gimmicky, right? Is Thanksgiving gimmicky?
And that's the thing, like, isn't it? Some people would be offended that I would say that Valentine's Day is gimmicky.
Well, I'm just curious because if we're putting it in a subcategory, not in the same level as Christmas, is it in the level of Thanksgiving or is it only in the level of like Halloween? Or is it in the level of Family Day that was a made up holiday that started when we were like 15? Like, what, where does it fall in terms of respect, public respect?
I feel like all holidays are gimmicky to an extent, and they're definitely commercialized. But with the exception of Christmas and Easter, and those holidays are still very much commercialized. But the difference is that it probably has a different meaning to you and your family.
Well, like you also can't forget Ramadan, Diwali. So like for our listeners out here, I mean, they may also feel the same way about Christmas. If you came from a family that celebrates Diwali or Ramadan, like to them, Christmas is the same way we look at, like, you know what I mean? Like it really comes down to it's so personal. It is so personal. Like to me, um, I mean, why would Mother's Day be any less gimmicky than Valentine's Day? One is celebrating a significant other, one is celebrating your mom. But like at the end of the day, like you're celebrating a person and you're celebrating a figure in your life, a
Mhm.
representation in your life. Some people celebrate Mother's Day with who they feel was like a mother to them. It doesn't have to be biological. It's just like you might celebrate your boyfriend, or some people are celebrating their husband on Valentine's Day. So it means something unique to all of us. But in terms of all those, like, I mean, listen, how I can rate Valentine's Day specifically. I'll just say, for me, it's a 10. I'm definitely like, I'm all in with Valentine's Day, whether I'm in a relationship or not. It's like, I need to feel like I did something.
And that's totally valid. To
It's a
me,
day, yeah, like, I think it's a day of love. Like, it's a day about love. And if you're single, then you go out and love off on your friends. You take a bath. You do what you need to do to feel loved. Or if you have a partner, you guys do something to feel that love. For me, like, I actually probably take that more seriously than Christmas in a sense. So, like, to me, Christmas isn't something I'm that into as an adult. I'll be into it when I have kids, but like as an adult, I probably spend it low key listening to some like Christian sermons, and that's about it.
mhm,
So it's so personal. Sorry, what were you gonna say about like Valentine's Day and the whole gimmick of it?
uh, Valentine's Day is a valid holiday for people that subscribe to it. And I wouldn't judge anyone that's going all out for Valentine's Day, the same way that I would go all out for Christmas. Like that's okay. But it's just never been a thing for me. And I don't know if I've vocalized it. That's why I've never gotten anything on Valentine's Day. Like I don't know if I've been putting out the energy that it's no big deal. Something that I found really interesting, uh,
Mhm.
the the origins of Valentine's Day, many people, um, it's kind of unclear of how Valentine's Day got started, but the Vikings that were called the Normans, they celebrated uh, Galentine's Day, and
Oh,
yeah, and
Valentine's Day.
yeah. So well, Galantine means lover of women. So
Mm.
I want to know, are you familiar with the word gallus?
Yes, we are. We're all aware of the term gallus. If you're from Toronto, don't tell me you've never gone to a party and haven't heard Mana Gallus.
Right?
Yeah. Like, come on.
Right? Oh my gosh. I love how patois has like Latin roots. It has like you could trace down the words that you think like, oh, it doesn't really mean much, but then you look back and you're like, oh, it has an origin. So the fact that the Vikings had a Galentine's Day or Galantine, however you say it, and it means lover of women. Galantine means lover of women. Um, just the fact that we have the term gallus, I was dying. I wish like men these days were celebrated celebrated Galentine's Day with enthusiasm and not and excitement to celebrate women and their love of women. That would be awesome.
Don't say that would be, girl. They're out here.
Yeah, but I
They
mean,
are out here.
but
And they're gonna act like they care to me. So from what I know, they be just as enthusiastic as I need them to be. But if they're not, that's a huge turn on for me. Don't bring me that energy.
so it's a turn off for you.
Oh yeah, like literally I had a debate about this like 2 nights ago. Like, men who come with that whack energy, just don't bring it around me. And don't you can't be dealing with me at all, to be honest.
And is
That's
is it just Valentine's Day or is it with all holidays?
that's for like, I mean, kind of like all holidays. Like, I don't know. That's weird. It's just being sour. It's like, why are you being sour? Like, for me, like, I don't live with my family. My mom is dead, and my dad is far from me. I don't live with my family. My family is in England. The family I fuck with, they're in England. I'm not going to England to fly out for Christmas. But I still don't walk around telling people, oh, nah, Christmas is a joke. Santa ain't real. Oh, button all the noise. I don't want to hear about Christmas. I don't act like that. So why you gotta act like that about Valentine's Day? Why you gotta be sour? Like, because you have to spend a little money and open up your wallet and buy some flowers and take a girl to dinner, you're sour? Why?
So if the day came and he did not have arrangements made, would you feel away?
Yes. That's actually unacceptable. You will probably if you're dating me, you can get dumped. You know that. That's crazy. That's extremely unacceptable. Like that to me is like, because I don't wait for things to come and happen. I'll be asking you weeks ahead. I'm the type of person I'd be like, what you want for your birthday? Your birthday's in 2 months from now. Your birthday's in 1 month from now. Oh, your birthday's in 2 weeks. Your birthday's tomorrow. Like I ask over and over, what's the plan? What's the plan? I'd be the same way about Valentine's. I'd be like, so Valentine's is coming up. What are we gonna do? What should we do? Like I let you know, I expect something. Like, what's the motive? What's the plan? Are we doing something? What should we do? Should I get an outfit? Like I'd be asking early. So if you have that energy, I should already known that before the day comes.
Mhm.
And if you brought that energy through before, that would already be a debate, at least at the very minimum. But if I somehow make it to Valentine's Day expecting something and you don't deliver, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that if you let it be known how you feel, and
Yeah.
you know, I get it. For me, it's like I'm okay. It's whatever. But birthdays would be different because birthdays, I don't go out for birthdays. Birthdays are a big
Mhm.
deal to me, so gotta
Mhm.
come correct for the birthdays. But
Mhm.
Valentine's Day, you can get me like cinnamon hearts. I'm good.
Yeah, like
Give me
I mean,
a
he needs to
handful.
acknowledge it. He has to at the very minimum acknowledge it. I've never had a guy not want to do something for me though. Like if you're my man, what kind of man are you? Like you want to be my man? That's all I know. I don't know.
I
That's
mean,
just some weird energy to me.
I've gotten the Happy Valentine's Day texts. Like I got those,
Mm.
but I've never gotten a card. Like I bought a card and I just never gave it. That's how the situation was set up for me. I bought a card for a guy and I never even gave it to him. Ah.
Aw, you should have made one with construction paper like back in the day. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, like to me, all I got to say about Valentine's Day is this is an opportunity. Don't waste it. That's all I got to say. You're wasting an opportunity.
Well, for those who did not have a boo for Valentine's Day, did not have a lover, you may have opted to participate in self-care. Now, what is self-care? It's basically doing anything for yourself where you're taking care of yourself. Um, and there are many ways to
Oh
actually do self-care. Uh,
yeah.
what does self-care mean to you?
The way you're saying it right now sounds like masturbating. I'm sorry.
Okay, and that's the thing.
That's what it sounds like to
Masturbation,
me.
masturbation is
Touching
a form of
yourself. I'm
self-care.
buying a new vibrator. That sounds like self care
It's
to
a
me. The way you saying it right now.
Well, it can be a form of self-care. You're taking care of yourself. You're taking that time out of your day to see to your needs, right?
Exactly. That's actually the perfect. That should be right beside the definition of self care.
A picture of a vibrator.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's the logo. It's the logo.
But self care is whatever you want it to be. For me, that's what comes to my head. But I mean, self care is showing compassion for yourself. That's what my therapist always tried to teach me to have self compassion. Apparently, I'm not good
Yeah.
at that.
Yes. That's it. That's definitely what it is. It's that's a huge part of it is having compassion for yourself. But the reason why I wanted to discuss self-care is because it has become a buzzword. It's trendy. When I typed in self-care on YouTube, there were so many videos about self-care. It was unbelievable.
Mhm.
So it's like, how did this become the in thing? Something that sounds so simple. Why are we discussing it? Why is taking care of yourself something to discuss? Like, um, do you have an idea of like why is it all of a sudden so trendy?
Well, the reason it's trendy is because of capitalism and the fact that we can market products around self care for the most part. And if you're not marketing products to use physically, you're marketing routines and programs and guide guidebooks, which can help you maneuver tending to your own needs, which is in a way sad because it's very simple. Self-care in itself is so simple.
Mhm.
Cooking yourself a healthy meal is self-care if you want it. Like in my opinion, it's that simple. Running a bath, washing your face, or doing an exfoliator, or doing a deep conditioner treatment on your hair. That's all self-care, and you don't need a book to to teach you a routine for that.
So you really think that you don't need direction or assistance to show you how to take care of yourself?
I mean, not really. Like after you come out the shower, putting on lotion could be considered self-care.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
anything you do for the to to sustain your livelihood is self-care,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Reading a book, educating yourself.
So they say that the people who need self-care the most are the ones that have a huge problem doing it.
Yes, because to be honest, in my opinion, if you struggle with self-care, you struggle with self-esteem.
Ooh,
If
okay.
you can't, if you don't feel comfortable caring for yourself, there's a good chance you have low self-esteem.
Mhm.
You don't think you deserve it. That's a block you need to work out.
Um, Self-esteem could be a part of it, but another part of it is it's so ingrained in us to be productive and to be disciplined and to like deserve rewards. So you have to be deserving of getting a reward. Do we need to earn self-care? And I mean, it's kind of you kind of I have an idea of what you would say, but do we deserve self-care?
Mhm,
Or as Brandon Gonez says, he would say, are we doing
mhm.
too much?
We're doing too much. This is my question to you guys. What comes first? Low self-esteem or self-care? Like that's let me rephrase this question. Let me rephrase. I have a question for you guys. What comes first? Being able to love on yourself or having a healthy amount of self-esteem? Because if you believe you're not worthy of loving on yourself, how can you feel good about yourself? Having self-esteem is about believing your inherent worth and value. If you don't feel like you deserve to give to yourself, how can you look outwards in the world and expect or receive respect from anyone else if you don't first respect yourself? If
Mhm.
you don't believe you're worthy to take time out in your own day to focus on enjoying a moment of your own time, how can you operate in the world with any level of self-esteem without running into people who will abuse you because you don't truly believe you're worth better?
And that's my favorite part of self-care. Um, the part that I find so beautiful about it is finding uh finding your worth in the activities that you're doing, where
Yes.
you're saying that you're worthy of having these experiences and
Mhm.
you're worthy of accepting them from someone else.
Right. Exactly. Which is why I have an issue with a man who doesn't believe in Valentine's Day. Because essentially you're telling me that part of me thinks you don't believe I'm worthy. A second part of me thinks you don't believe that you should inconvenience yourself to put a smile on my face. And I have a problem with that.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
So
I give the dudes the benefit of the doubt, to say that it's probably not even on their mind, the same way it's not even on my mind. If you don't, because if you don't have cable
I don't. I do not. I haven't had cable since 18.
and you're not seeing commercials,
I don't no, okay. No, first of all, who has cable nowadays? Everyone's on demand TV shows. Everyone is on Amazon Prime. But continue your argument. Go on.
so if you don't have those triggers to say, like,
Yes.
you're not going to Dollarama, so you're not having the triggers of saying, all the decorations go up,
I live in Dollarama.
then it could be something that a man, it slips his mind.
Everyone has Instagram. So on the day of, you'll remember.
On a side note, like, what do you, so I will accept if a man wants to treat me for Valentine's Day. Like, we're back on this again because
Self-care.
I'm trying to move away from this, but how would you feel about getting something elaborate on Valentine's Day, like like getting proposed to on Valentine's Day?
Had to happen sooner or later. That's how I feel.
Do you feel like it's cliche though?
No, not really. I think it's like, you know what? I don't care. Had to happen sooner or later. Why not now? Who cares? Like, I'm not concerned about stuff like that. I mean, I would find it the most corny thing a man can do if he's trying to propose is propose at someone else's wedding or at someone else's engagement. That's weird. Imagine, you're trying to catch the bouquet at a wedding and then your man bends down and now he's proposing on one knee. That to me is a little, it's too much. You're kind of like stealing the shine and thunder at someone else's event. I don't respect that.
I would think it's okay if it's like your brother getting married and you asked him to do it. Like, there's a show on Netflix about uh twins. Twins are dating each other.
Oh, yeah,
One
yeah.
got married and then the other one,
Mhm.
they didn't know they liked each other yet, but through the process of planning the wedding, they fell in love with each other. But anyways,
But
anyway,
that's corny to me. That's the one day you shouldn't do it. Don't do it.
Courtney,
Yeah, like you don't need to be doing that right now. Like, because now I can't be running around smiling. I'm gonna want to talk about my engagement now, and I'm at a wedding. It's not about me today.
true.
So why are you doing that?
I appreciate any expression of love. Yeah, but I don't want to be proposed to at a wedding and I don't want to be proposed to on Valentine's Day
Why not? Why not Valentine's?
because I am a romantic, but I like an original story. I love a very unique story. I like someone that is like thoughtful and has paid attention to the things that I like, and it would be nice if it was a surprise.
Well, tell me, how were you proposed to?
Hmm?
How were you proposed to? You never really told me the story.
Yeah, that's for another time. So self-care. Treat yourself the way you want to be treated. And Lauren, it sounds like you're saying that there's no such thing as deserving self-care.
What I'm saying is if you don't give yourself self-care, you're saying to yourself that you're undeserving, and then you'll walk through life like you're undeserving,
Mhm, mhm.
right? Like your self-talk will manifest in all areas of your life. So if you don't, so have like actions, thoughts, and words determine your outcome in life, right? So if you don't think highly of yourself and you don't do things to pamper yourself and to spoil yourself, you're not going to go into the world expecting others to spoil you either because you don't even know what that feels like. So at this point, it's all foreign to you anyway.
Yeah, for
It's a
sure.
risk. It's a risky game to play because if you never, if you don't at least treat yourself good, then how can you ask anyone else to? They even say like attracts like, right? Like in a previous episode of ours where we said you need to have your own life together before you go looking for your lover, right? If you can't, you shouldn't ask for a lifestyle you yourself don't have or can't maintain, right?
Mhm.
So if you don't love on yourself, if you don't do the things you need to do to maintain your peace of mind, whether that's exercising, whether it's cooking for yourself, doing your hair and your makeup, doing your nails, how are you gonna have any standards for the person you want to be your significant other? There's not going to be any standards. You're going to let them walk through your life and do anything they care to do, whether it's good or bad, because you don't have a standard.
Mhm.
You don't have a standard baseline feeling of of feeling good. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't feel good, if you don't feel revitalized on a weekly basis, if you don't feel anything that you could smile about on a weekly basis that you do for you, how can you then expect a man to do that for you? Like,
Mhm.
I think self-care is crucial to your self-esteem and your self-worth. And it's kind of a shame when I hear of women who don't give themselves that time. A lot of mothers are known for forgetting about themselves in the early stages of motherhood because they're so enraptured in taking over the care of a child that they forget about themselves.
Mhm.
And for all the women who do have children, who are mothers, have you guys ever felt like you lost your identity and you lost who you were and you lost your routines and everything you once knew? And with that being said, how did you get that back? Because to me, I haven't been there yet, but I do know that, again, I know if I have a child, I'm really going to need that support from my man because I don't want to lose myself in taking care of a child. I still need to take care of me too.
Mhm. There are some other ways that you can other ways for you to know if you do need to engage in self-care. Some of the clues that will let you know are if you are feeling mentally or physically exhausted or overwhelmed, if your family and friends around you are telling you that you're working too hard and you need to take a break, uh, if you have missed out on something important that you wanted to do because of work or other obligations in your life. A big one, which I've experienced, is if you're having reoccurring colds or chronic illness. So if you are sick and you just can't get better because you are so overworked or overwhelmed and you're not taking that time for yourself, you definitely should be engaging in self-care. Um, so those are some of the clues that will let you know. But, as Lauren and I would say, self-care, you deserve it because you're you. and you woke up this morning and you deserve to take time out and spend that time with yourself. Now,
Exactly.
here's a question. Can you do self-care wrong?
Oh, damn. Can you do self care wrong? What do you think?
You definitely can do self-care wrong, which is interesting. It's interesting because there is a fine line between um being selfish and giving yourself the things that you need. But I feel like if you even question that, you're probably you don't fall into the category of doing it wrong. If that's even something that comes across your brain or your mind.
Well, that you feel selfish when you're doing it.
Yeah.
If you question, am I being selfish? You're probably not doing it wrong. But this is the thing about what you're saying. I do believe that overindulgence is doing it wrong. So, like, yeah, going on a shopping spree to the point where you are, um, inflicting damage on your livelihood, right? If you're going into debt to go shopping, that would be doing it wrong. If you're drinking to the point where you're blacking out and making poor decisions, you're doing it wrong, right? I mean, I've been there
Just
enough
thinking about people,
times.
I'm thinking about people.
I've been doing that enough times. The girl, blacking out, that could be my middle name. And on top of that, shopping, Fashion Nova, they have pretty much taken at least a few of my whole paychecks. So yes, I've been there. And that would be considered self-soothing, or what is it also called? It's also called coping mechanisms.
Mhm.
There's a certain level of self-care practices which can also become coping mechanisms for people that they overindulge in. It's
Mhm.
never what you do, it's how much you do it and in what intensity. Just like if you exercise. Exercise is great once a day, maybe 5 days a week for an hour, maybe two. If you start working out 5 hours a day, 7 days a week, now it's a problem. It's
Yeah.
never, it's not necessarily ever the substance, but it's all about the dosage, right? And that's for anything. You can poison yourself drinking too much water, for God's
Mhm.
sakes.
That's
So,
definitely a way to do self-care wrong. Binging, eating, drinking, doing too much of anything is definitely a way that self-care can go wrong. And similarly to that is because you mentioned coping. So if your self-care becomes a distraction from your problems, then that's a way of doing it wrong. So if you are shopping on Fashion Nova
mhm.
instead of doing your schoolwork and you didn't set that time allowance where you're like, okay, I'm gonna only shop for an hour and I'm gonna put my credit card downstairs, so if I really do want something I have to go and get it. um if you're not doing that and you're just using it to avoid other things, then self-care can go wrong. And I am someone who has definitely made that mistake many times because I definitely take on many different responsibilities and I will let that go on and then for months and then I'll just wake up and be like, I need to get out of the country. And I will fly out. So that's a problem. And I've done it so many times where I've taken trips that were not planned and I've gone away for a couple of days. I just drop in, drop out. But the thing is that I have to go back to my problems. So that's not really an efficient way of coping back in the days. But yeah, that was definitely back in the days because I haven't traveled in a year and probably won't be traveling anytime soon. Another big one that many people do is participate in self-care that is applicable to someone else. So it's self-care that is not for you. It's not catered to what you need, but because when you go on YouTube and you type in self-care, everyone has the candle lit. Everyone has a candle lit in the background and they're taking a bubble bath,
Yes. With
you know,
rose petals.
with rose petals. And I'm the type of person where, like, a bubble bath might not be the most relaxing thing for me.
Yeah, what if you have mold in your mouth? I
Right?
mean, it might stress you out because you really got to clean that thing.
Exactly. If you share a bathtub with roommates,
Me, and I still be bleaching it down, but yes.
that's a whole lot of work that's gonna go
Oh,
into.
yeah. I spray the whole thing in bleach first.
I mean, your bathtub still needs to clean. It does need to clean eventually, but that's not going to be a form of relaxation for you,
Not when I said, like, sometimes maybe the bath isn't it for you. Not everyone even has a bath.
right? Right? I have been trying to get into meditation, and I know that I'm not relying on meditation because it's very hard. It's very difficult. So I'm not going. Meditation is something that I visit every now and then, and I'm doing a little bit at night. But I wouldn't put a whole bunch of pressure on myself to be this meditation guru because everyone else that I'm looking at is a professional meditator. I'm just taking my time with it. Um, getting my nails done, that's a source of stress for me.
Wow. Why? Because you have to find the right person?
I have to find the right person. This other person's gonna piss me off. This
Mm-hmm.
other person like is gonna like cough on me or it's just a whole bunch of things that
I mean, first of all, they got to be Black owned. And that's like searching through a needle in a haystack in Toronto to find a Black owned salon because Black Lives Matter and we're not. We're not outsourcing our money anymore,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
That's why I moved on to the press-ons, guys. No more for me. No more nails.
Yeah, don't let the paparazzi catch me. What are some healthy activities that you participate in for self-care?
Healthy activities that I participate in for self-care would be taking baths. I love taking a bubble bath, listening to music, lighting a candle, as long as no one's home, of course. Love doing that. I love wearing no wigs, no makeup. I love feeling ugly in my house. As weird as that sounds, I just love feeling as free as possible. I love feeling like no frills, bare bones. I would like wear whatever I feel like wearing when I'm home. And for me, that's something I like to feel because it's like I can let my gut hang. I can just not worry about sucking it in. I don't care. I'm home. I'm me. It is what it is. That's another way I just kind of like accept who I am and like reground myself. And then, of course, there is painting. I paint a lot these days because of COVID and also because it's the way to keep me out of the refrigerator. So it's just a way for me to occupy my time so I don't feel as crazy. And it's an outlet really for you to kind of like have something that I can tangibly see when the time is up and it's finished. And over time, I can look at my body of work and see how I've progressed.
Mhm.
You can look back at your portfolio and be like, okay, I remember that painting. And I was struggling with that background there. And now I've come so much further. Look at the elaborate work I can do now that I couldn't do 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So that's just another way I kind of like use my time as a way of keeping my peace. Self care is also about just maintaining the inner peace for me. So
Mhm.
that would be a part of it as well. What about you? What do you do for self care?
At the moment, I really enjoy going hiking. One of the things that I'm so grateful for about COVID is that coronavirus, COVID-19, is that it helped me to see different parts of the province, different parts of Ontario that I would never have seen otherwise. So I've been out in nature, which is totally the opposite of everything I thought I knew about myself. And I've been going hiking in the winter in this weather, which is kind of like I've never done this before. The idea of being out January, February, and March is like crazy to me, but I'm doing it and it's really exciting. Um, and that's like that caught me by surprise, the fact that I enjoy that. And then the second thing that I do, I literally watch little snippets of home improvement that gets me going. Like it's just ooh, it it is ooh. I just like to watch. Like
Sounds orgasmic.
I literally make sure like the before and afters. I try to make sure that the clip is 10 minutes or less. I don't do any more than 10 minutes because then I start feeling anxious that I'm wasting time. But if it's literally between 1 to 10 minutes and I get to see the before and after, that really really helps me calm down and I enjoy that.
True. I've been watching those videos of apartments that are like 300 square feet.
Yes,
First of all, it makes me feel happy to know that everyone else is living in a shoebox like me.
yes.
Secondly, makes me see how people live in a shoebox like me.
Amen. Yo, this is the thing. Like we're
And
so
they're short because the room is tiny.
we're so different and we're so alike, and that's the thing that kills me because I literally on my explore pages is micro apartment. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, same. I mean, looking at these 300 square foot apartment, and I'm thinking, what on earth are you living in? I watch the video, I'm like, true. And the video is short because, I mean, the apartment has maybe 5 walls. I mean, the place is tiny. So it's short, it's sweet. And I usually learn one tidbit on how to save space or utilize space.
I'm telling
So,
you, ever see these people with their apartments and it'll be like 600 square feet, 700 square feet. I'm like, look at this 700 square feet.
I mean, yeah, pretty
You
much.
got her
Like,
one bedroom and a den, okay?
damn, that's the like, and that's yeah, that's a whole nother
I'm
Those
joking, I'm
worlds is a
joking, I'm
crazy
kidding.
place.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding, okay? But the videos are only enjoyable if it's under 500 square feet, okay? But yeah, so I am so happy that you have stayed with us and you have joined us for another episode. Let us know what you do for self-care. Let us know if there's anything unusual, a little bit weird. We want to hear it. So comment down below, let us know. And if you don't engage in self-care, let us know if you think it's a ridiculous idea or if it's something that you want to one day try to
Mm.
incorporate in your daily activity. Have a blessed week.
Lauren signing off.
T-Bells out. Peace.
Period.